Alright, welcome back everyone. We are doing some Warhammer hobbying on a Wednesday evening. Now, so far we've painted up, we've been working on a commission. We painted up some Bladeguard, we've painted up some Stirred Guard veterans, which I'll show you here. A lot of these guys that we painted up recently. And then last night, or maybe the night before, can't remember, maybe 2 nights ago, we painted up this guy. And Liam, g'day mate, how are you? Good to see you. First one in here this evening. Just doing a bit of a recap of where we've gotten to on our little commission piece that we've been working on for the last little while. Yes, so I was just showing off our little inner circle companion dude, which we completed. It wasn't last night, definitely wasn't last night. It was the night before, from memory now, because I'm pretty sure I was doing something else last night. So, what I thought we'd get stuck into today is maybe back on the Bladeguard veteran for now. And see how far we can get tonight. Thank you, Liam. Appreciate it. I think it's coming along pretty good. And Dagon, how are you, mate? Hello again. Do I still remember you? I've had a few chats. I do remember the name though, definitely. And we got Kev in the chat. Gay Kev, it's happening. So as normal, I think I'm going to start off just with the tabard stuff because it's fun and it adds a bit of a instant sort of contrast to the model because we're going with those green tabards on our Dark Angels. So to begin with, dark green Vallejo game color is the base coat that we will be using. Thinning it down a little bit on my wet palette, and then we are good to go. That's good, Dagon. Good to hear. And thanks for stopping by again. Hanging out. Oh, the Dreadnought. Ah, yes. It's coming to today and not Thursday. How good. An early present for you. Sure this camera's set up properly. Okay. Should be alright. Remind me, Dagon, what paint scheme are you painting it up? I've got a feeling it's Blood Angels or Space Wolves. I can't quite remember. I feel like it was one of the two. Get on a couple of these coats nice and quick. And salamanders. That's right. There's so many people that like the salamanders in this chat. Hey, maybe I'm thinking about Blood Angels and Space Wolves because I've been looking at them myself. I was looking at Space Wolves today actually in my local game store, just online. But I contemplated going over. I needed an extra can of Chaos Black primer. And was tempted to go to the store, pick it up, but then thought that could be a dangerous trip and I'd be spending more money than I anticipated. So decided not to even tempt myself. Your friends like Space Wolves? Yeah, I do too. I like the new sculpts that they've given them. I was looking at like the headhunter dudes with their shields and axes. I think that looks really sick. And yeah, Liam, I did see there was a Space Wolf for Mini of the Month. So maybe it's worth me stopping by and seeing if GW have any more left in stock. Let me have a quick look here. Silver might be the way to go because we paint the front red. Maybe not. I think I might just start with the gold while the green dries. And we're going to use our classic Necro Gold for the base coat on our gold trim. Do you remember the guy who told you to hurry up painting? I do remember that guy. And I get lots of comments on all my other things. Some other guy was saying that that I shouldn't be teaching people to use streaking grime and all that sort of shit, because it's just a waste of time and all this sort of shit. It looks bad. And people are just very interesting about their opinions and why they feel the need to just tell someone they're doing something wrong when we're in a thing where we paint little plastic dudes. Because at the end of the day, no one actually gives a fuck. Like, okay, mate, thanks for your opinion. Hell yeah, Nemelichu. Good to see you in here. Yes, it is a new Bladeguard veteran. Since we've finished our old dude, and we did our Inner Circle Companion the other night, so I thought we'd go back and maybe try and see how far we can get on in Bladeguard Vet in a little quick stream. Arctic Pro is good. That's a hot take. Liam, Arctic Pro? What is that? Am I just like completely living under a rock? DeCorgi, how are you, mate? I feel like as well, I'm actually doing a stream tonight just on YouTube, so it might be a bit easier. I might get to comments a little quicker as well tonight because I've only got one chat to sort of look at. I think it might help my computer as well, stop it from dying trying to do 2 streams at once. Someone asked me how much Warhammer is, and I said it's not called 40k for nothing, says Dagon. You are not wrong, my friend. It is very expensive, but worth every penny, I say. You know, people spend a lot of money on other hobbies, like golf clubs. Playing golf. That's an expensive hobby, which I also do. I play a bit of golf. You can finally make some progress. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Never did you. Can make some progress. Potato. I think I have the exact same mini. Hell yeah. It's such a cool pose mini too, don't you reckon? I love the look of the Bladeguards. I think they're a very well sculpted model. They look very imposing, very like they just scream Warhammer 40k to me, I reckon. What time and D&D? not sure what you're asking there, Dagon. What are you talking about? So true, yeah, exactly right, Potato. It really is such a cool little model. What do you mean expensive? A kidney is not that important. Yeah, that's right. If you've got them to spare. You know, it's an investment. You've got two for a reason, you know. May as well make some profit. Have some fun with the other one. What time will I be live till? I'm probably going to paint, hopefully, for at least another hour and a half. We'll see how long I can go for. Got a bit of time now, and then maybe I might have a bit of a break, and then if I'm still awake and keen to paint, I might stick around for a bit longer, or come back on for another hour or so. We'll see how we go. Play it by ear. No hard plans this evening. But yes, Dagon and anyone else who is listening and wants to be part of the action, I have just started a Discord channel, which I would love you to join if you're keen to chat, share photos of your works in progress or your finished minis, because I knew I've received some comments of people wanting to send me photos of theirs and just sort of share the hobby with some other fellow fiends of the hobby. So yeah, you can check it out. It's in the description of this stream, in my bio in YouTube as well. I will even post a link in the chat if you are interested. But literally just set it up. I'm a boomer with that technology, so it could be really shit compared to other Discord servers you've been in, but it's a little fun space. Well, I'm hoping it will be anyway. Also, why is donating one kidney good, but donating 4 isn't? Yeah, don't know why that is. If I could receive one, that'd be great. I've only got one good kidney. I don't have one to spare, so unfortunately, I can't be paying with my kidneys. The big M, would you say sub-assembly and painting is easier? If you're painting for quality, like display quality, 100% sub-assembly is easier and makes the whole process a lot smoother. If you're army painting, painting it built will save you a bunch of time, and because you're not trying to get every nook and cranny and it's not about perfection, you will save yourself a lot of headache and time by having the pre-built. So it really depends on what your objective is. For this is a commission model that I'm working on. So they came pre-built, so I didn't have the option to sub-assembly, but he's not after display quality. He just wants sort of like an above tabletop standard, or premium tabletop, you could call it. So that's what we're going for here. What do we got? For this mini, I found it easier to paint before assembly. Yeah, look, with like the shield, I'd probably have the shield off if I were to have this pre-built, or myself doing it. I'd take the shield off and paint it separate, and the head as well, and maybe even the arms, so you could get into the real nooks and crannies behind here with a lot more ease and not risk painting other areas. But you just got to work with what you're given, I suppose. You want to join? Yeah, here, I'll drop in the Discord little link for those of you that might be interested. Hopefully that helps. What do I use to prime my minis? I just use mainly Chaos Black, my friend. I find it's a really good primer to go with, because I do a lot of zenithal priming or highlighting, you could say, or pre-shading, pre-highlighting stuff, and having a black primer as your undercoat helps with that. So Chaos Black is a go-to. If I could get my hands on more Color Forge, the Color Forge matte black is pretty much like a Chaos Black, but at a cheaper cost, and you get more money, get more bang for your buck, because there's more in the actual spray can. So if you can tell me where I can find some, because it feels like they're all sold out in Australia, that would be great. JDK, it is Warhammer. Hell yeah. Grey, yeah, gotta lock in, dude. Get those minis painted. Retributor Gold asks Michael, it is not. It's actually Necro Gold from Scale 75, which I've been using for all my Dark Angels that I've been painting up on stream recently. It's a good base coat, and then we go in with a highlight of Peridot Alchemy from the same brand. Akai-san just found about a Warhammer 2 days ago. Really wants to get into it. From India. So won't be any players. The sets are costly here. Don't know where to start. Yeah, look, I don't actually play the game. I mean, if you're interested in painting, I mean, that's something you can obviously do solo, but playing the game, you obviously need someone else to verse. So maybe you can convince a friend to get into the hobby. I feel like that's what a lot of people do, is they convince their friends. Turns it into a little cult. But yeah, maybe pick up a model or two, or if you can't afford it, I know people do 3D printed proxies just to begin with, to see if they like the hobby, and then they get the real deal later on. That could be an option to explore. Dragonet, did you prime this one? I sure did. So again, this guy was primed with black, and then we went in with the colors that we wanted for building up the bone color on the Deathwing color scheme. Blood for the Blood God, Luke. Chaos all around, but today we are loyalists. But we do have a few people in here that seem to be a bit chaotic.
Blood for the Blood God, skulls for the Souls Learned.
Hell yeah. Dragonet, you got your death card in the mail. First army? Hell yeah. Stinky boys. What drew you to them, huh? I like the look of like the decayed metal, or the rust. I think that's what draws me in for those models, really. Is the fact that you can just go crazy with all the weathering effects on your models. I think that's such a fun thing to do. Gary, hello from England. Hey mate, how are you? On the complete other side of the world from me. Very jealous that if you wanted to, you could go to Warhammer World. And it wouldn't be too far of a trip from anywhere in England. Whereas it's probably not feasible for me down here to book a plane ticket, come over, spend 30 hours in a plane or whatever to get over there. It says the link's expired. Discord link. That shouldn't be the case. Come on, what's going on here? Try that again. Let me see. Hopefully that works. Yeah, we need someone from the Inquisition here. We've got suspected heresy in the chat. Someone needs to have a chat with the company chaplain or some sort of Inquisitor. Get to the bottom of it. What did we do? I think we painted the skull gold. We did on his kneecap. Link in the description was fine. Here we go, we've got a couple more that have just come in, which is awesome. Welcome to the Discord. Literally brand new, nothing in there. So start dropping in. There we've got a little section, yeah, for each work in progress, your finished models, tips and tricks if you guys want to share tips and tricks with each other, and obviously memes. You got to have the memes. So that is there too. And I plan to just sort of give you guys a heads up when I might be going live. I do a lot of my stuff ad hoc, so I might drop something in there and just say going live soon. So at least then you got a bit of a heads up, going live in an hour or something like that. If you're keen to hang out. I think we might go in now with our second coat for the green on his tabard while that dries on the trim. The one in Nottingham, yeah, the literal Warhammer world, they have like a tank outside and all that. Like literally the big Games Workshop store. That's where I want to go one day. I reckon that'd be sick. Not to distract you from your work. Link in the description is fine. Yeah, thanks Liam. I appreciate that. I think I can see a lot of people coming in now, which is awesome. You guys are sick. Lost in Time, yes, Nemanich is all over it. It is a Bladeguard veteran, which we are painting up in Deathwing colors for our Dark Angels commission piece that we are working on. Doing the classic too thin coats to this step. Whereas the gold, and that's why I love the Necro Gold so much, you really don't need to have two coats. It's pretty much done and dusted in one. Yeah, make sure not to drop this one. Yeah, they all have these iron halos. Fuck, was Butterfingers the other night. But look, he's finished. He's fixed. See? Oh fuck, see? Nearly knocked him over. Fixed. Good as new. You wouldn't even know. Dragonette, do you just do the painting for people, like instead of them doing it themselves? Yeah, so people will sometimes don't find enjoyment in painting, so they'll send their minis to get painted. And obviously I like painting them, so it's kind of a win-win. But it means I don't have a whole bunch of time for my own models. So I have a backlog of work to do now. So after we finish our Dark Angels commission, we'll have a bunch of Chaos, Black Legion to do. And then we've also then got a whole bunch of World Eaters that I picked up from the post office today. That was sent over to me. And then after that, I don't have anything else lined up. So maybe it might be time to then work on something of my own. Have you done the Deathwing Terminators yet? Asked Lost in Time. I have not, unfortunately. And I don't have them as part of this bit of work. But they look very knightly, and I wouldn't mind painting them up in like Black Templars at some point either. I reckon that would look really cool. On the inside of the shield here, we're just doing something super basic. I'm literally just painting it silver. And then I'll let the wash do the rest, and we're just going to leave it like that. It's not really a feature of the model in terms of where people will be looking at it. Like, you kind of look at the model like this and like this, you might catch a glimpse from this angle, but we're not going to spend a whole bunch of time. Just get a bit of paint on it, and we can then call that section a day. Thanks on the glue fix. Yeah. I've gotten pretty good at repairing minis because I seem to drop a lot of them. And Dragonet, can I commission you for my Death Guard? Maybe one day, mate. I don't know if I'll be taking on any more commissions after I finish my other ones, because there is a shit ton for me to do. I won't be finished for a good couple of months at least. And then I think I might take a break from commission so I can work on my own stuff. But maybe in the future. How many more Dark Angels left? We've got these two guys here that have literally no paint on them. These two, so that'll be the rest of the Inner Circle companions, I think. So there's 4 and 5, I think that's it. And then 4 more Bladeguard after this one. And I'll probably paint some of those off stream as well, just because I want to get through the commission kind of quickly. I've kind of really only been painting on stream, but I want to get a bit of a move on. And then we've got a few characters. So we've got, is it Lazarus? What's the captain's name for the Dark Angels? The one where he's holding his helmet like under his arm. I've got him to paint up, and I've got a apothecary, the biologist dude, and an ancient as well. So that silver's being splattered on there. I think the next step is let's do red. The red bits, and we're going to use corn red for the base. World Eaters. Hell yeah, World Eaters. But so they won't be red, they'll be the black and not black and white, the blue and white ones. Pre-heresy scheme. Kind of like these guys, with their backpacks on, obviously, because I don't know where this backpack went. Another one of my falls, Butterfingers, another casualty of that. But yeah, they'll look like this, but not as high a detail, maybe a bit more tabletop standardy. He's super hyped, Luke. That's so good. The Vanishing Monster, incredibly relaxing to watch and listen to. Oh, I'm glad, dude. I feel kind of relaxed doing this hobby, which I think is why I enjoy it so much. It's a very soothing practice and fun. Dagon's downloading Discord. Hell yeah. Blurble Blob. I like the one where it sinks into the crevices and makes a nice shadow. Couple of Lukes in the chat. Very nice. Brian, what color gold is that? So you might have missed it before. It is Necro Gold from scale 75. The way that we're going to shade this is we're going to do an all-over model wash of streaking grime, and then remove most of it, obviously just leaving in the shadow areas and recesses where the grime will stay. But the grime itself, it kind of acts as two things. It will stain the bone white to make it more in line. So you see how bright it is now? It will slightly get a bit more brown, if you can see that there in some of the recess areas, which is what we're after. And then we go in with the highlight of Peridot Alchemy, and that's 3 steps for the gold. So quite quick. Matt is working on their models right now. How should I do my models base coat first? How should I do my models? Base coat first or edging first? I would always do your base coats first. I think by edging, do you mean like edge highlighting? Yeah, I wouldn't do it edge highlighting first and then go into base coats. I don't think that would work too well. Cyber is continuing to spread the word of excess. Yes, I've still got these guys sitting here on my desk, staring me down, tempting me to go back and paint my old models, my own models, rather than the commission piece. But I've got to stay focused, brothers. I have to stay focused. The Emperor wills it. Azrael is a chapter master of the Dark Angels. Yeah, so I've painted Azrael for the same guy that we've been painting this up for, but it's a different dude, and I don't have him near me because he actually needed to get his paint stripped off him because he was a bit gunked up. I can't for the life of me think of the name. It's like the captain dude, where he holds his helmet under his arm. Brian, yes, Necro Gold, correct. Deathwing, it is. Have I done Custodies? I've painted a couple of Custodies in a customs scheme for someone else a couple of years ago. But I haven't painted it in the OG gold colors. Yeah, don't like the orangey gold. Not sure how to shade that color of gold without turning it orange. If you're talking about this color, the Necro Gold, because it's got green undertones in the actual gold itself, you'd be fine doing any sort of dark green wash or a dark brown wash for shading this type of gold. It would work very well. The Vanishing Monster is currently working on NIDS and an army I'm creating of Imperial Orcs. Nice. Very Xenos of you. Very Xenos. Maybe 2 Xenos. We still got the Inquisitor around? This guy over here. Kyle, try for any golden demons. When I was a kid, I went for Young Bloods, but I have not since. I don't think I'm at the level yet to be going for a golden demon, if ever. It'd be awesome though, I reckon, to have one. Even just to enter for fun, maybe. Paint the vehicles red, says the Vanishing Monster. Yeah, go fast if you're talking about orcs. Hell yeah. Red equals fast. Mushmulo. Brother, I paint Sons of the Phoenix. You are doing well. Thanks, dude. Thank you. How do you seal your pieces? I have one, but after a while, the pieces still chip. If I'm painting for display, I don't seal them because obviously people won't be handling them. They kind of just sit in a box on display. If you're gonna end up making it a gaming piece, which most people probably want out of their models, ultra matte varnish is really good. It, I think, just gives a very aesthetically pleasing shine or lack of shine to the model, but you don't want to be putting it on over your metallics because your metallics will just turn non-metallic. They'll just go a really weird, like the gold, for example, here would look like a brown yellow flat color. So what you would do is you'd paint everything else up. You could even paint the metallics so you know where the metallics are, spray the ultramatte varnish, and then have to go back in and touch up the metallics to get the shine back. And I've done that on previous models as well. But yeah, there's no other real way. Otherwise you have to use like a gloss varnish or a satin varnish, but then I find it makes the models look too shiny. Looks a little bit weird and plasticky. So whilst I'm yapping, we're going to grab some snakebite leather and pick out some of the leather pieces. That one storyteller, it is Lazarus. I thought so. I think I said that earlier. I just could not remember. Thank you. That's it. Lazarus is the character we are thinking about. Yes, so he is part of this commission. And I had to strip the paint off him and a couple of others earlier. This was literally what I was doing right before I went live. I was wearing like the mask and everything, so I was like, maybe it's not a good time to go live because I cannot talk to anyone. Because you definitely want to be using a mask when you are handling isopropyl alcohol, so you don't breathe in the bad fumes. Cybo won a youth painting award at your local games workshop for Lucius the Eternal. Oh, hell yeah. That is sick. On the new Lucius model, I think it's a very cool looking model. I like Lucius. I like the old one too. That was a model that I always wanted to get, but never got round to buying. And I saw Trevarian Miniatures, his kit bash of the new Lucius, I think, is epic. It looks really good. Darwin Kim, what gold are you using for your trims? I use Auric Armor Gold and it's so hard to work with. Not sure what line Auric Armor Gold comes from. I'm assuming maybe Citadel. If so, Citadel metallics are pretty dog shit. I'm not gonna lie. I use, I think Nebenitsch's got you there, Necro Gold from scale 75, and it's a really good paint. Other metallic paints that are good are the Vallejo metal color range. And yeah, the scale 75 range I haven't had any issues with. Some of the Vallejo game color actually are also pretty good. Philip, good morning from Colorado. Love to see you back working on the Bladeguard vets. Hell yeah, I think it's a very popular mini with some of the people in the chat, this Bladeguard veterans. And rightly so, because they are very cool looking. Cajun Spaghetti. I just painted my first model ever and it came out pretty Just a gaunt for your Tyranids. I have quite the way to go before they look really good. Any tips for stripping paint without harming the resin? First off, congrats on your first mini. That is an achievement in itself. And don't be hard on yourself, because no matter who you are, really, your first mini is going to always turn out and not what you envisioned in your head. It's just I wouldn't strip that one, keep that one, because that is a memory for you. Like, if you can look back on your first model and say, this is how far I've come in 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, it just is a very good way to ground yourself when you get further down the line and you're like, oh, I'm not a good painter, or I'm really struggling here, and then you look back at one of your old minis and you go, holy shit, look how far I've come. So definitely do not strip that. and keep that. In terms of stripping it, if it's resin, so if you've 3D printed your models, not got a whole bunch of advice there for you, because I haven't really worked with 3D printed models that much, but I have worked with resin from like Forge World, and stripping paint off that can be very challenging because it actually can warp the resin quite easily, and you can kind of ruin your models. So I've kind of avoided stripping paint on resin. Stripping paint on plastic like this is a walk in the park. It's super easy. All you need is isopropyl alcohol, a jar or a container, and let them soak for a couple of hours, and then go in with a toothbrush and literally just scrub off the paint. And you can pretty much do that heaps of times. I've missed a few here. I've got a few more comments to go through. I'll go real quick. How do I send stuff through Insta so you can see my Lucy? Cybo, I've got a new Discord. Were you one of the ones that joined it? That's where we are sharing our stuff. If anyone in the chat wants to be part of it, I've literally just started it up. I've dropped a link there in the chat. We've got work in progress section, we've got our showcase, we've got tips and tricks. So that's your place to share with the community what you've been working on, and what you've completed. Didn't you do a Space Marine voice with your headphones? Oh, you mean this guy? You mean Brother Aaron?
I certainly did, Brother Dagon. For the Emperor, we serve.
We got a couple of little voices there. Uh, 100+ brothers in arms, let's go. I know, how many cool. Hello, Sean from Australia. How are you, mate? Aussies in the chat representing. I love it. How good. So we've done the base coat on that red there. I think we could probably get round and do some of the gold trim there on his shield. We got New South Wales here, we got WA, we got Victoria, Melbourne, Tassie. Hell yeah. I'm in Sydney, so I'm a New South Welshman myself. The Bogan chapter is formed. Bogan Eshe chapter. Let's go. Trying to paint my guys as Black Templars, but instead of the other color being white, it's black and red. Nice. That's also a really good scheme. Black and red work really well, I reckon. Like you can see like some of the Khorne Berserker, sorry, the World Eater, like they're not successor chapters, they're like, what do you call them, warbands. There's a scheme like black and red, where like I think red's the primary color and black is the accent. So I think either way, whatever color's primary, having a black or a red accent looks really cool. It's kind of what I have in my hobby friend branding. I have a lot of black, red, and white. Those three colors, I think, are favorites of mine. My little logo and on my website and stuff. Just works well together. Naomi Espino, hello from the Dominican Republic. Hola. How close are you to finishing the Dark Angels commission? Asked Cornwallis. I'd say we're probably about 50% the way there. I was saying earlier on the chat, on the stream, I've only really been painting whilst being live, and I've just made a bit of an error there. That's fine, I can tidy that up in a sec. But I'm probably just to get a bit of a move on, so it's not going to take forever. we'll paint a little bit offline as well. But once we get through this, I've got a couple more inner circle companion dudes to paint up. 4 more Bladeguard vets. And then we move on to some characters like a Apothecary Biologus and Master Lazarus, as well as an Ancient. So a little bit of work still to go. Alex, messaging from Warhammer World, the Bladeguard is looking amazing. Oh, way to rub it in. Fuck, I wish I was there. Warhammer World. Very jealous. But thank you. You want to hear for the Emperor? I'll give you one more. Where is it gone?
For the Emperor, brothers, we fight in his name.
There we go. Never need to. See you, dude. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, and we got a Kiwi, fellow New Zealander across the ditch in the chat. How are you, Josh? Oh, and Darwin. Look, we got the whole of Australia here. We just need someone from Canberra, pretty much. I think we've got everyone then. And South Australia. Paint some Nike TNs on him. That would be funny. He wouldn't be able to go in a drop pod anymore. He'd just be restricted to public transport, if that was the case. Someone in Newey, how good. G'day, Khan. Giga Chad, lucked out and managed to find a retailer in your shitty little city that had the Raphael Kalinski Sable size 2. Hell yeah, dude. It is a good brush. I hope you've had a chance to use it. Just look after it, because it will last you a long time if you do. I learnt that the hard way back when I didn't really care for my brushes. And one of my kind of old shitty brushes is a Raphael Kalinski Sable one that I didn't look after properly, which is very sad. Potato, no worries. Thanks for sticking around for so long, dude. Yeah, send a pic of your first model. We'd be keen to see it, that's for sure. Take care, dude. Van Hayden just opened a new mini drill bit set. That is the drill sticky. Why the fuck is the drill sticky? I have no idea. It might be it might be lubed up with oil, I reckon, because it's the same thing when you get like the X-Acto blade things. They come slimy and sticky. We're talking in context here, but they come like that sometimes. Cybo sent in Lucy. Oh, how good. I'll have to have a look once I hop off. Thank you for sharing. I can't wait to check it out. Bloodbun has a friend in South Australia. Hell yeah. And so it literally means we're missing someone from the ACT who actually lives in Canberra, you know? What a shitty place to live. Combat Company is solid in Sydney. It sure is, Liam. Sure is. It's a good little store. I've been there many a time. My hobby supplies. And so is Dice Arcade. I like Dice Arcade too in Cronulla. Gorgeous Deathwing, thank you, Cypher. Thank you, appreciate it. He's coming along. We're trying to go fairly fast on this stream. I want to see how quick we can get. How long have we been live now? Can I even have a look at that on YouTube? Oh yeah, 50 minutes. Alright, that's not bad. 50 minutes and we've got all the coloured base coats down. Okay. Need to touch up the back, missed that, with the gold trim. Always Sekulto, what a coincidence. I'm working on this one as well right now. Gonna pid wash some color and small line on the shield. Nice. I'm gonna avoid the pin wash because I'm gonna be lazy and use an all over oil wash, which will get into the cracks. But it's also actually serving a purpose as well, which will stain the white bony color and make it a little bit more grimy, which is what we're after. But best of luck with the pin washing, because it can be a bit of a tedious step from my experience. Blood Bun, you are correct. Always care for your brushes. Yes, don't be like me and just don't, and then they end up dying on you very quickly. And then you are out of money and you are sad. Van Hayden, require a soak in alcohol. Yeah, definitely to get rid of the slimy stuff. I thought you were talking about the minis, because that's kind of what I did earlier on some other minis. Was soaking them in isopropyl alcohol, because that stripped off all the paint. Come slimy and sticky. What are we talking about here? We're talking about hobby tools, mate. What else would we be talking about? You know, I don't know how you can misconstrue that. I bought a brush soap, but yet to actually use it. Oh, Sean, that's like buying toothpaste just to look at it. Come on, man. Put it on your brush, get scrubbing. But in this case, put the brush on the soap and get scrubbing. The ciphers in the ACT region. Oh man, condolences. It does have a decent community. I've seen there's they've got a painting comp or a local thing that they do each year. I can't remember. It was like a crystal, the crystal cup, crystal paintbrush or something. They have like a painting competition and war gaming day or something. Dagon, you still can't join. I don't know why that is. I can see, I'm just looking on the right hand side here. It says welcome Dagon VR. So you might be in? I don't know what's going on there. Cornwallis, looks like the gold only needs a single coat. Yeah, that it pretty much does, which is why I rave about it so much. It really does only need one coat to get a good result. It might be slightly thick than most of the other paints that I'm using, but you don't notice it. Like, for the standard that we're going for, it works perfectly fine. Like if you were going for a golden demon, you'd be wanting to work a lot thinner with all your paints. But that's not the case right now. We're just wanting it to look cool on the tabletop and in hand. but it's not going under the microscope of a judge, so it doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, get the ones on these back. Cav, what chapter is this? It is Dark Angels. And we're painting him up in the Deathwing color scheme of the Dark Angels. Giga Chad, when painting multiple models for Combat Patrol, do you recommend doing them together one layer or two per day, or one model totally painted one day at a time? I historically have painted one model at a time, and I think that's resulted in me having no completed Combat Patrol or Army. Because I think that's the result of that. When I'm painting for commission, which is the times I've actually finished like an army, I had to do it in batch. So I would do all the base coats in the sitting, and then once I got to a certain stage, then I would start just finishing off model by model. So like once I'd done the base coats, maybe done the washes, and was just coming to edge highlighting on things, and then doing like lenses, that's when I'd just go finish model by model, because then you get a bit more satisfaction out of fully completing a model. So that's probably what I'd be looking at doing. Or maybe split it in half, like do half in a batch and then half single, like, you know what I mean? If you don't want to batch paint the entire time. Thank you, Beast, I appreciate it. My shield is still full white from Prime, so the pin wash will pop. Mine's Ultramarines. Hell yeah, dude. That looks cool. I've got an Ultramarine one to show you. There's a shield like this. White shield, Ultramarine. Bladeguard Veteran Matoris from Secret Level, except he's holding a power sword instead of a power axe. But yeah, this one's one of mine, by the way. Even in death we still serve. That's correct, dude. We do. Duty never ends. The gold reminds you of an enamel paint. Yeah. It doesn't act like one though. It does act like just one of your normal paints, but it has a good look to it. That's for sure. So let's get the gun handle. Van Hayden, thoughts on sub-assembly? I'm a big fan of sub-assembly, particularly for display purposes. But I've been actively practicing painting fully built because a lot of my commissions that I receive are fully built. So I needed to get better at that. So I would actively practice myself just painting models pre-built. But personally, if I were to do my own models, I'd do areas in sub-assembly. It's just a lot easier. I find, anyway. But slower. It's definitely slower. Luke, how am I going to switch up the design on the sword this time? I think this one's going to be a bit of a basic sword, unfortunately. It's going to be kind of like this. The camera makes it look very flat. I promise you it's not that flat in real life. But it's just going to be a silver sword with a glowy bit. We did a little bit fancy on this one, the Inner Circle Companion. We went on stream, we did a little bit of a wet blend just to make it look a little bit different to just a plain old silver sword. But but that was for the Inner Circle companions, because that's kind of how they have it exactly on the box art, which is what my client would like for those guys in particular. So I tried to emulate that. God of Legos. You like the white? Thank you, dude. It will turn out a lot more bone colored though once we are finished with it. So don't hold on the love for the white too long, because it will not be white for too much longer. Okay, his little belt buckle. You needed to verify that email. Yeah, not sure what's going on there, Dagon. I wish I could help, but I'm not that familiar with it. I'm sorry. I'm going to drop it again because I got a few more people in watching. If you'd like to join our Discord, the link is in chat or in the stream description. We'd love to have you. We just started it up, so feel free to join and share your hobby work with us all. Depends on your pace more than 10 at a time. I do batch painting. Yeah, this is exactly right, Liam. Depends on how you get enjoyment out of the hobby, really. And if you can stay sane painting trim and over again for like 30 models or whatever, because that can definitely send someone a little cuckoo, I reckon. Tried painting MDF terrain with the sponge method last night, says Sean. Actually looks pretty good for 3 coats in about 30 minutes. I actually really like painting terrain. I think it's very therapeutic. Because like big surfaces, it doesn't have to be neat with terrain, because it's terrain, it gets damaged, and it's like, it could be organic or just dirty metal. Like it's relaxing, I reckon. Zach, do I have any Omega Marines? I don't, I'm sorry. Not an Omega Marine on my paint desk. I hope the release, the demon from Secret Level. Yeah, I hope so too. That would be pretty cool. Kind of, I like the interpretation that they did of that demon. I think it looked really cool. Why don't I play? I don't find I get as much enjoyment out of playing Dagon. I kind of just enjoy painting a lot more. Don't know why. It's just me. It's kind of how I've always enjoyed the hobby, is the lore and the painting aspect. But I have a lot of friends that play now, and they want to have a game with me at some point, so I'll need to have to get an army painted up, roll some dice with them. It's not like I dislike the game. I just really haven't played much of it. And when I've had the chance, I've chosen to paint instead. This is peak entertainment right here. Thanks, Secundum Panda. Appreciate it. When I was basing Lucius, one guy I showed was confused and I based him in yellow. Nice, Sobo, nice. Cool, Azrael. Hell yeah, Reza. How do you do glow effect? Asked Robert. The basic glow effect is super basic. It's just a white paint with a wash of a color. Like it's not, I wouldn't even call that like a glow effect really. Like it's just super basic. The glow effect that I'm proud of, and this one here, like a plasma glow, is kind of the same techniques but just dialed up to 11. If you're really wanting a tutorial on how to do it, would highly recommend you look up El Miniaturista on Instagram. I think he's on YouTube and he's on TikTok. He has a Patreon and stuff. I've bought some of his tutorials. I signed up to his Patreon and got his tutorials a while back, and they were really good. Essentially what you're doing is just using some fluoro paint, you're using white, and you're just building it up, and then you use your airbrush to do like the halo effect with some of the color, which results in a very nice glow effect, which, I mean, even on screen there, it kind of looks like it's glowing. So I guess the technique works. Cornwallis, I love watching you paint, but it feels shit knowing. Don't worry, dude. I'm getting used to it. Definitely getting used to it. Maybe one day once I like do this full time, you know, once I become like a full-time YouTuber like Ninjon and Miniac and shit like that, I'll have like the full camera over my head and it won't even be, it'll be a thing of the past, you know. But nah, don't don't feel shit at all. But thanks, man. What chapter is this mini? Asks Isaac. It is a Dark Angels. Bladeguard veteran. So we've got that. Oh, his little trinket on his belt. Let's also hit that with a bit of gold paint. Do you do bases? I do. I enjoy simple bases for a lot of my minis. But for these guys, these Dark Angels, we're not doing bases because the client would like to do them himself. He has his own thing in mind, so has asked to leave the bases blank. So no bases for these dudes, unfortunately. James, hello my friend, and hello Enzo. How are you both? Luke, yeah, the lava base one. Thanks. I made that a while back, but it came out pretty good actually. I liked making that, and I did an opposite one just recently on snow bases. It's not as good because it's quicker and easier, not as many steps involved, but it's a decent result if you're after a snow base as well. Boarding actions is fun for an evening game if you want to do a quick game instead of a half day or whatever. Yeah. See, something like that I think could be good, Sean. Like the full half day or full day of game is probably what's been stopping me from playing in the past. But good to know that there's like alternatives these days for a more quick format. I feel like combat patrol or a kill team would be something that I'd be down for. Because surely that wouldn't be like an all-day event. I think as I got into it, it'd be totally fine to play all day. But when you're just starting out, it's a bit of a commitment. Thanks guys, I'm just catching up on the chat on, must have been when I was showing you the glow effect, dude. Man's admires his own work. Yeah, I can toot my own horn over here, fucking oath. No, but thank you. Bloodbun, I'm a painter, not a player when it comes to minifigs of any game. Yeah, exactly, dude. That's kind of where I sit at the moment anyway. Hey man, how much did the model cost you? This one was free, because it's not mine. So $0. But they are very expensive. If you're wanting to get into the hobby, they do cost a pretty penny. James, never say never, mate. You could get there. Even with unsteady hands, there's techniques and ways that you can still get good results. It just takes practice. So don't rule yourself out, mate. We are going to paint some of his joint things. There's ribbings, I call it. I don't know what you call it, but the rubbery looking things that connect the tubing. Use some contrast paint, Black Templar to be exact. We're just going to pick those out in the back. Hobby Fiend, give me the name of a chapter and I'll paint a shoulder pad for that chapter. Do a Space Wolf, but the one where they have, it's like a black and red triangle on the shoulder pads. I think they look cool. I don't know what it's called. I think it's just a pack mark, but I like that look. Gremlin 40k, hello, welcome. Bring back Apocalypse. I say I want to do a 3-day game. Yeah, that would be massive. What I would love to see though is them bring back like the Apocalypse box sets. When I was a kid, there was like a Space Marine company that you could buy in a box set, and the box was massive. And there was like 100 models or something stupid in the box. And like so many tanks and shit. And it was just all like tactical Marines, firstborn Marines. That looks sick. Bring back that. Who's this little guy, Dark Angel? He is, gosh, little Dark Angel dude. And Ruzo wants me to turn the Dark Angel into a little Nurgling or a Death Guard Marine. Heresy, mate. Get out of here. I'm gonna try and get in between his, what's this, elbow. Get into his elbow here without getting the sides of his armor. It's a bit tricky. Yeah, it's alright. See if I can clean it up a little bit. Yeah, perfect. Good, it's coming together. Nice. Happy with that. Spaceman, what do I think of the Lamenters? I think they are poor souls that just get shat on by everyone, you know? Unlucky. I have a friend who likes the Lamenters and easy to make fun of. They're the punching bag chapter, you know? Also, are you an Aussie? I certainly am, mate. Yeah, that's it. The Under Armour, the tubing stuff, little connective bits. That's what I was trying to say. Tasty tea. Thanks, mate. So, are they coming to knock on the door tonight? At least let me prepare. Gremlins from Canberra. Oh, another person from the ACT. Again, my condolences for living in the ACT. The reason I'm giving it so much shit is I've got a good friend who lives there. And I like taking the piss out of him. So, and that in turn means I get to take the piss out of you. James, how much are novels? I just got into Warhammer and I want to start with the lore first. I'm not too sure. I think I bought one model and one novel and I was overseas when I did it. So I can't remember how much I actually paid for it. But I've just consumed most of the lore through YouTube videos and lore channels. Because I like listening and painting at the same time. kind of really immerse yourself in all things Warhammer. But someone else might be able to tell you, because there is a shit ton of books to read. Wook Legend, will I be painting another one? I will eventually. I've got 4 more to paint, and this is one of the finished ones that we did the other day on stream. So they'll all end up looking like this, ideally. And yeah, we're getting there. This is where we're at the moment on this dude. The Australian Triforce complete? I think it is. I think we got everyone. Someone said there was a friend from South Australia, so I don't know if that counts as a South Australian presence in the chat. We might still be looking for that South Australian. Yeah, Audible's all in German. Well, I guess you gotta learn German, mate, so you can listen to it. Alright, so may as well just pop the silver on the blade. We're getting very close for a wash step here, guys. I actually didn't think we'd get this much done in 1 hour. We've actually been making some good timing. Just looking if I've missed areas. So I've got the purity seals, which we can quickly whip up before we put the wash over it. And I just wanted to, that's right, I wanted to tidy up the red on the shield. Where I missed, well, I overbrushed actually, and painted gold where it shouldn't have been gold. There we go. Voila. Perfecto. And then as I tilt it and say perfecto, I notice more errors. Lol. There we go. Alright. And the handle, that's right. Let's paint the handle gold. Pretty sure that's what I did. Yep. We're doing a limited color palette here. I thought airsoft was an expensive hobby. Yeah, dude, welcome to the addiction that is plastic crack. It ain't called plastic crack for nothing. It's earned that reputation for a reason. We have an experienced person in that's experienced South Australia for at least a month. Now, I will count that because I don't think we'll get a South Australian in here. They're too removed from the rest of Australia, you know. No one goes to South Australia except Bloodbund here, clearly. So we'll count you. You're an honorary South Australian, which completes the Triforce in the chat. Yeah, look, good recommendations on the books. Too bad I don't read, unfortunately, guys. If they have pretty pictures, I'll read. But I need to get more into that at some point, maybe. We'll see. Clipper Gaming, how small of a brush do you use? And hello, my friend. We're using a size 0, and that is pretty much what we've painted this entire model so far using. I don't go much smaller than a size 0. Like, I can paint lenses and eyes with this, so size 0 is probably all you need if you want to save money and just use a single brush. But that and a size 1 are the 2 brushes that I tend to chop and change between. Capetta is new and wondering what a good army to make first is. Whatever speaks to you is the good army, my friend. I would just go with what's coolest to you. Don't worry about metas and what works well. Just go with what's cool, I think, when you're first starting out. Anyway, you'll get more enjoyment out of that. Alright, so I'm going to paint up the purity seals very quickly. We're going to use Baneblade Brown as the base coat. And then we can move on to the wash step, I think, after we highlight it up a little bit. It's good, James. Yeah, I try to get to a lot of comments as well, but I do miss some sometimes because I want to keep painting, because otherwise I end up just sitting here yapping, and then that's a bit boring. No one wants to just hear me yap. They're here to see me paint as well. So yeah, I try and answer comments where I can, but forgive me if I do miss your comments. It's not intentional. Average dude picking up all the Horus Heresy resin models. Nice, mate. Yeah, that's right. It's not called 40k for nothing. I think someone else said that as well earlier. Literally has that name for a reason too. You like Dark Angels but can't find them? I mean, if all else fails, you can go straight to the Warhammer website, but it is good to check out your friendly local game store first as well, because you generally get a discount of some degree on Warhammer models there. How do you do eyes? Ask Gremlin. I suck at them. I will quickly show you. I like the glow effect for lenses, which is still sort of eyes. A different one. Where's the model? Here it is. This one here, as an example. The way you do this is you go in with a pure white, and you paint the lenses, like so. Let it dry, obviously. You go in with, and then kind of thin down white and do like a little rim, kind of like underline, like you're doing makeup on the Space Marine. The underline of the eye. Let it dry. And then for this, I just used like a watered down blue. It wasn't even a wash. I kind of just watered it down. It was just a normal acrylic paint. And you kind of just glaze over it and you get that effect. It's super simple, but it's very effective. And you can obviously do that with any color that you like. But blues work really well, so do reds. Reds can look cool too. But I don't have any others there to show you just yet. Well, I've got a green one here. Yeah, kind of like this. Not as well executed, but still decent. Similar sort of effect. Yeah. But yeah, literally any color you like, you can do the same sort of method. Alright, so Carrick Stone is the next layer color up for the purity seals. Doperator. Thank you, dude. At least I've, I guess, reminded you of the pile of shame that you need to get to before you buy any more miniatures. I'm telling you now. I should probably be taking my own words of advice there too, because I have a large pile of shame too. But thank you for the kind comment, nonetheless. Literally not going to spend too much time. That's it for a second layer. We'll go in for a highlight in a second. Well, another highlight. Is it cringy that the Black Templars are your favorite faction? Hell nah, Black Templars are sick. I used to love looking at them. The Firstborn Marines, I remember I looked at a White Dwarf and really vibed with the look of the Black Templars. I painted up a few. Here's one that I did most recently, a while back. He's not all glammed up like a Black Templar would with all the chains and cloaks and stuff, but I was happy with how the armor turned out. So I'm a fan of the Black Templars for sure. Raptors, yeah. Blood Bun's a basic bitch for liking Ultramarines. But yeah, go with what you like. Dude, like, they all look cool, and I think there's no harm, no foul. For whatever you think looks cool. No worries on the tip. That's all good. It's a super simple one for the eyes. Just give it a shot. Practice a little bit. What I tend to do if I want to practice is just use the spare head models that you get and just literally put them on a toothpick and practice. I think that's the best way to improve. Just a couple of little edge highlights on the purity seals. And then we'll hit the wax seals with a bit of red. And then we're Gucci. We're good to add the streaking grime. It's fine to buy models while you paint though, right? Yeah, dude, just a little pastime, you know? It's fine. It's like ordering Uber Eats. It's okay. A little treat every now and again. Trek Ray, I decided to paint my orcs first because they can be janky and it's part of the charm. You like the details. Thank you, appreciate it. We had another orky painter in here earlier. Don't know if they're still around. But orcs are fun. The flesh can be a challenge though, painting the skin. I'm not gonna lie. There's so much of it. But we like a challenge, do we not? Yeah, the pile's been building. Oh dude, when I moved house, I literally pretty much filled up my entire car with boxes of Warhammer. It was kind of a bit like I was taking the PSA. I was like, surely I don't have this much Warhammer. It's a bit cooked. Just Uber Eats some Saturnine Termies. Yeah, how good would that be? That'd be so dangerous if you you could just Uber Eat models to your door. Oh yeah, see the new release? Bang, straight to your door. I think we'd all be on the street, homeless, from how much money we spent if that was the case. Dagon, you're off. No worries, my friend. Thank you for sticking by, and hopefully your Discord gets sorted out and you can join. For anyone else, I'm going to drop it again. Feel free to join if you are interested in hanging out with us and sharing your progress, or sharing your finished models, or want to share some tips and tricks. The link is in the chat, so please do it. Yeah, I like the Snake Boys look. I also don't mind the Bad Moons, I think. This is one of the orcs that I've got that I painted up for a video. So he's kind of, I was kind of going for like an army commando look. So I guess that leans into maybe the snakebite dudes. But yeah, that was fun though. I'm very happy with how the skin on the orc turned out. And he's like little swamp looking base, and like Shrek. Maybe he's a Shrek dude. Kovic, the Honored, what do you do for white armor? I'm painting some pre-heresy world eaters. Like this bad boy here, hey? Pre-heresy world eater. Obviously your dude will have a power pack. This one unfortunately has been lost to the warp. I would take the power pack and the shoulder pads off, and don't build them, and build the rest of the model so you can paint them separately, particularly if you're using an airbrush. I use an airbrush for a lot of my armor bits on models. Start with like a dark grey, we could like a grey primer or a black, and then I built up the white using using the zenithal sort of effect with the like an off-white paint through my airbrush, and then did the same on the shoulder pads and backpack, and then yeah, that's how I would sort of go about it. But white, yeah, I'll show you a better model for some white. Kind of explains a little bit more what I'm talking about. So if you look here, the grey, darker greys in sort of the shadow areas, and then it looks a lot more brighter from the top. That's kind of what we do when I try and paint like a white-ish tone, because obviously you don't want to paint pure white, because then you can't highlight it, because nothing's going to be brighter than white. So always work darker, or start darker, because you can make it brighter. It's a lot harder to bring the value down, I find anyway, if you go too light to begin with. Okie dokie. I completely forgot. We didn't even finish the tabard, so we can't go to the step of washing. I was just talking shit. I baited you guys. Lol. Unlucky. We're going to paint the rest of the tabard before we wash. Gremlin, how do you get the link? I dropped it in earlier. Hopefully that works if you can get in that way. Otherwise, there's a link in the description of this stream. There's also in the most recent one that I've had, like 2 days ago, has the link in it, because it's only very new. So we'd love to have you if you are so inclined to join. Shrek bites, indeed. little ogre, little army of Shreks. And then like the hog riders are just donkey. That'd be hilarious. That'd actually be so dumb. Bassa has some Votan. I don't even know how to say that. Jaegears, but struggling to come up with a color scheme. What's your process for picking your colors? I like to do a quick little search on some of the lore, because I like painting up lore accurate stuff. That's just me personally. But I would just literally Google and see what other people have done, and see if you can find some inspiration from that. The other thing that you could look at is like a Pinterest, and you just look up a mood, for example, like stormy mood, and you'll get a lot of purple and blue tones, like a stormy mood palette or something, or futuristic palette, and they give you some good tones to work that work well together. Personally, for Votann, I like orange. I think it looks really well with their aesthetic. And I've painted up some Votann in like a bright orange and a bright blue before, and they both look very well, work well together. Because like a bright blue and orange, what do you call it? Complementary colors? Kind of like this, like these two. They work really well together. World Eaters work very well with Seraphim Sepia, then the Verdigris on the Copper Bronze. Yeah, 100% dude. The white just has so much room to be playing with when it comes to sort of effects like blood effects and rust effects and all that sort of stuff. Ghost, since the power pack is lost, you can have him as a last stand kind of guy. Yeah, exactly. He's literally just like it's full send to the enemy front line. No hope of return. It's kind of like all Khorne Berserkers, isn't it? Alright, so I've just added a little bit of a higher green tone in the mix to build up some of the highlight. It might be a tad too bright, but that's fine because we can sort of glaze and feather in the edges in a moment if it is too bright. But for now we're just kind of sketching those highlight areas on the tabard. Thanks for adding lost to the warp to my vocab when lose something and never see it again. Yeah, managed to lose a whole controller to the warp, didn't even turn up moving houses. Yeah, dude, who knows? It might spit out in like 10,000 years and it will just, you know, you'll be long gone. We'll all be long gone by then. It's a cool little term, eh? I challenge you to implement it into your day-to-day life and people will be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Jaegers. Jaegers. Someone talking about Jägermeister? Fuck. Yeah, your gears, Jaegers. I'm gonna go with Jaegers because that makes me think of Jägermeister. What's this dude in here? We'll get rid of him. What's this? Yo, so we don't need that, mate. Just being a little bit silly, mate. What do we got here? This is the plastic cracks stream, not the kinky. Yeah, exactly right. Time and place, mate. Time and place. Do you need glue to build it? Asks Mattel. Not all of them. Some are actually come what they call, I think, press fit? Press fit? Yeah, they just like click in, kind of a bit like Lego. But a lot of them do need glue to be built. The ones with that don't, where they're like glue free, they normally come in like the starter kits. Because they want you to be straight into sort of painting and playing and not having to worry about building it as such, because then building it, obviously you need to buy clippers and you go buy glue and all that sort of stuff. It's just another barrier to entry. So they don't want you doing that. What's a better Dark Angel color? Dark Angel green or Caliban green? The three colors that I use for my Dark Angels are these three here. dark green from Vallejo, angel green, same range, and Scorpy green, same range. And that's how we've gotten like these guys here. Like that's that green there, and that's also what we're using to paint up the tabard. And they can be quite versatile as well. Do I have a lot of paint? Jake, I sure do. Without wrecking the stream. Let me see, I'll show you. Excuse the messy desk, but if you can have a look, this is my paint rack. That's you guys over there on my little shelf. Yes, I have a lot of paint, and that's not all of it. Some are still put away and on my desk. So yes, I have a lot of paint that I have accumulated over the years. Maya Cupcake, hello. I have been very well, thank you. How are you? Yeah, that's right. Law dump. All the way, blood. We got 7 AM. We've got a lot of people here. 7:15. I'm nearly 10 o'clock here. 1:45. 10:02. Oh, we've got people over in America joining us. Welcome. Me oh my. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, the paint shelf universal to hobbyists. Yeah. I had to convince my girlfriend to let me build it as big as I did. So yes, took a little bit of convincing, but we got there. Let's quickly do... No, we won't. I think we can go for it, guys. We can do the wash now. Let's do that. Okay. Changing out the palette. The palette is changing, and look at this absolute Nurgle's garden of a palette, which is totally fine because it's oil paint, and oil paint is just going to always be dirty and gross. Alright, so we are going to grab some odorless thinner, and where is my streaking grime? It is here, and we need a pipette here, and we need an old manky brush also here. Okay, you guys know the drill. I'm gonna grab a bit of this odorless thinner out of the pot. I'm gonna drop some into the wet, well, not the wet palette, but the gross palette. Mix a bit of that streaking grime. Move it in. Just a drop, something like that's totally fine. And now we can start putting it all over. Sean, you're out. Thank you, dude, and thanks for joining the Discord. Yeah, feel free to drop some images of your works in progress, showcase your finished models, any tips and tricks you'd like to share with everyone. We'd love to hear it all. Appreciate it. See you next time, dude. Ghost, yes, a well-loved palette indeed. Some would say maybe too well-loved, and in need of some alone time to clean itself. One of the funnest steps doing this. Super quick too. Look at that. Achieve, how are you, my friend? Welcome back. And Sushi, hello from Thailand. I'm about to start painting Dark Angels Combat Patrol. Your paint is very clean. Thank you, I appreciate it. And you are getting into the Dark Angels Combat Patrol. Very good choice, my friend. Very good choice indeed. Now you have to tell me, I think, is Muay Thai your national sport in Thailand, Sushi? Because I absolutely love Muay Thai. I train it every week here. It is such a fun sport. That's where the great uncle, yeah, exactly, Alfarius, it's gross, hey? He's probably hiding under a bit of tissue or something that was on there, absorbing up all my previous layers of streaking grime. You're new to this, Mai, but it's oddly fun to watch. That's good, I'm glad. Maybe we can sway you into doing some more hobbying, you know? That's the goal. Hello from Russia. Hello, my friend. How are you? Welcome. James, yes, I'll see you. You gotta enter stasis, no worries. Godspeed to you, may the Emperor protect. Dankins is at Streaking Grime water-based wash. We're using Streaking Grime, and the reason I'm not doing anything at the moment is we're just leaving it dry for a minute to let it do its thing. Gives me a chance here to also read through some of these comments. Why am I here? Hello? I don't know why you're here. Why are you here? Gremlin's back. Huddy Wuddy. Am I painting Dark Angels? I am, my friend. I am painting Dark Angels. And Sushi, your house is next to a Muay Thai gym. Oh, fantastic. How good. No excuses. Get in there and do some sparring. Let's do some pad work. That'd be dangerous. Alright, hopefully this is starting to dry a lot quicker. While I'm chatting to you guys and this is still drying, I'm just going to drop that Discord link in as well if any of you would like to join. We've had quite a few people jump in this evening, which is awesome. But that's your chance to get in with us, share your photos of your finished minis and whatnot. Share tips and tricks, all the good stuff. We might be good to start wiping away now, I think. I think we're decent, so let's start doing that. Do you mostly do solid colors and wash, or also slap chop? I don't really do slap chop. I kind of do like a solid color and wash, or just purely solid color if you're trying to do more of an artistic representation and like you paint in your own shadows type thing without using a wash. But that's a lot more time consuming too. But for the standard that we're going for, I find kind of blocking in the colors and doing a wash yields like a really good result in a short amount of time. That's how I like to paint, as it's quite relaxing to do so also. I know you said you're a rugby league fan, but do you chime in for any of the Super Rugby Wallabies games? No, I don't. Sorry. Literally, like I haven't watched even rugby league in quite some time. But no, I haven't tuned into sort of rugby union and all that sort of stuff. I'm a West Tigers supporter, by the way, for when it comes to NRL. Which has been a rough time the last while, many years. We got some karate people in the chat. Hell yeah, look at all this. More rugby players. It's good stuff. I think it's important to have a little bit of exercise in your life. Just, you know, it's a completely different hobby. And it could be like a team sport. It could be a solo sport. I think it's just helps. It helps me anyway, detox. You know, shit at work, all that sort of stuff. And you make new friends too, particularly if it's like a team game. It's good fun. Or if, like me in Muay Thai, you get to punch each other in the face, and then become friends. Shared bonding over violence, kind of what we're doing here with Warhammer. Absolutely destroying people's armies, but doing it in good spirit, you know. Carrickson and Scruff, you might want to stop putting the brush in my mouth because it states on the bottle it's toxic and dangerous. Not the acrylic stuff, mate. The acrylic stuff is non-toxic. You don't want to be putting the streaking grime or enamel or oil washes in your mouth. And when I'm painting with those products, I do not. But I appreciate the concern nonetheless. I also need a little snack every now and again, you know? Something to satiate my hunger. Yeah, I hope Anita still asks us to join the Discord. That's alright, Achieve, no worries, no rush. Gremlin, how do you join? I've dropped the link in a little earlier, so hopefully you can get in there. Otherwise, you can join through one of the other links that I popped in the chat, in the description of the video. There's a couple of ways. We got another one, awesome. Dankins, no worries, thanks for stopping by, dude. Take care. You've been here a while, Blood Bun. It's good. But understand if you need to go do your own. Do not feel like you need to hang out here the whole time. There is hobby waiting for you as well. But you are more than welcome to. Love having you around. Why am I here? Do I play World Eaters? I don't actually play any of them. I don't play Warhammer. I primarily just paint. But I have painted up a lot of World Eaters because I think they look really cool. So once I just wipe up a little bit more, I'll quickly show you. I showed earlier two types of World Eaters that I painted up. Both the pre-heresy blue and white scheme and the current day red World Eater. So pre-heresy dude, showed him before, so I won't show him too much longer, but that's him there. In terms of current day red, here's one right here, charging straight into battle, nails biting deep into his skull, and then another one here, just sliced the head off some poor chap standard against him. So yeah, a couple of corn berserkers from the World Eaters for you right there. My reading, I saw that before, and Ghost got crocheting, knitting. Very nice, Ghost. Yeah, you sound like my girlfriend. My girlfriend's does crocheting, knitting, reading. It's must be drawn together. So you've got the similar hobbies that my girlfriend has, and I seem to have similar hobbies as your husband. I like gaming, I like going to the gym, all that sort of stuff. Weird how that works like that, isn't it? No worries, why am I here? Take care, my friend. Destroy those filthy Xenos. Big Monkey King, do you shade Deathwing before applying this, the Streaking Grime? We did a little bit in one of the earlier steps. I didn't show it on stream because I airbrushed that step. But I shoot a little bit of Snakebite. Is it Snakebite leather? No, Skeleton Horde. A little bit of Skeleton Horde into the shadows. Just to make the shadows a little bit more deep and have a bit more contrast. Luke, you are like in sync with me. Emperor's Children and World Eaters are the two factions of mine that I want to finish first. I have a box set of both that need to be finished. So they will likely be my completed armies ever, if I can get around to doing them. I think we're getting very close to having all the grime off in the areas we do not want it. Just going to bring it a little bit closer to my eyes so I can see. Just give me a sec. Yep. It's pretty good. Some areas could use a little bit more of a touch up. Around here in the face. But overall, I would say that's a decent wash that we got there. Very good. Okay. Your husband's the one that getting you into Warhammer? Hell yeah. His sister is going to send me over his box sets. Nice. That's so good. Does he know what he's unleashing upon himself? Another plastic crack addict? Gosh. You guys might have to take out a loan with the amount of Warhammer you guys will be consuming. Hey, glued in place by your cat. No worries, Blood Bud. Stick around. I think what we'll do here is, the problem is I want to keep painting, but I will have to avoid some of these areas where the oil wash, or enamel wash rather, has yet to dry, which will take a little bit longer than normal paints, just because of the nature of the product. Because it doesn't mix well. If you put acrylic paint over an oil wash or an enamel wash without it drying properly, it's not going to work because they don't like each other. Oils and water don't mix. So I'm going to have to tactically choose areas of the model which look the driest so I can start doing some edge highlighting. But I'm going to put this dirty palette away. Whip back out the wet palette. Like so. If you've never used a wet palette before, you are missing out. You don't need to buy one, you can make one to begin with. That's what I did when I first started. I now own a proper one, but a wet palette is an essential, so definitely pick yourself up one if you can. I've just seen that Paper Doll Man. Go back to bed, we've got work tomorrow. Get out of here, man. Get out of here, Luke. What you doing here? We don't need you here. Take that negativity away. What do we got here? It's got the Dark Angels Combat Patrol and Azrael Mini. I just finished building them. Scared to paint them. Don't need to be scared. Mad Phoenix, you just need to start painting. Otherwise they'll never get done, and that's how our piles of shame start to become piles. You can always go back and redo them if you're not happy. That's the beauty of them being little plastic. You can rip the paint right off them if you need to. Carrick's and Scruff. I know, mate, you said that before, but it's fine. The ones that I've put in my mouth are non-toxic. It's the oils and enamels that you want to avoid when it comes to licking your paintbrush. Don't be licking your paintbrush if you've been using oil paints or enamels. Acrylics though, they are non-toxic, the ones that we use. So I'm not advocating to go eat your paint, but if you happen to get some residue in your mouth, it's not going to kill you. Rage the Dark. Thanks, dude. You're going to paint your second Death Guard squad. Your first army. Hell yeah. Follower of Nurgle, hey? We were saying before how the Nurgle aesthetic is such a cool one with all the rust and weathering effects that you get to do. So enjoy, have some fun with it. Mad Panda's first army is Tyranids. Very nice. And yes, lots of welcome here for you, Ghost, joining the Plastic Crack shared collective debt. Gremlin. Do you know the Deputy Chief Air Force Vice Marshal Harvey Reynolds? I do not, sorry. I use a ceramic plate my dad used for modelling in the 80s. It is half an inch of paint on it. Nice, that's like a family heirloom now. I used to paint on a tile when I first started, like a ceramic sort of tile, back when I was a kid. But definitely if you really want to try and up your painting game when it comes to this, a wet palette really helps for when you're trying to do wet blending techniques, because obviously your paint stays wetter for longer, and it can save you money too by having the paint be usable for a lot longer. You're not having to constantly reapply it and go through it so quickly. It teaches you how they behave as well and how to like thin your paints to specific like ratios of thinness. I don't know how else to say that, but like wash consistency, layer consistency, all that sort of stuff. What brands of paint do I recommend? Lid Stick. I use a whole bunch of different brands, so I wouldn't recommend a single paint brand. I'd recommend experimenting for yourself. But some of my favorites are Vallejo, AK, Pro Acryl, and I'm liking some of the Scale 75 paints and some of the new Army Painter paints as well. I think each range has their fair share of good paints, and also their fair share of not so good paints. Every lick of paint is a small prayer to the great Lord Nurgle. Yes, exactly right. And I'm speed running Mortarion. It's alright. I'll see you guys there. I think we're all headed to the same place. Lion Man, Dark Angels. Sorry, I'm new here. Yes, correct, my friend. This is a Bladeguard vet in the Dark Angels Deathwing scheme. But yes, the glue smell. I'm a fan of the glue smell. But that's also not encouraging anyone to go sniff glue or sniff paint. But it does have a sort of addictive smell to it. I agree with you, Liam. My army is Space Wolves and I don't know how to use Space Wolf contrast and ruin my miniature. Sushi, that's no good. I've never used that particular type of contrast paint, so I don't know how it behaves, but contrast paint can be a little bit tricky, that's for sure. You're just going to keep practicing. That's how we learn through our mistakes. Goodbye, Bloodbun. Thank you so much for sticking around for so long, dude. Take care. Suzanne, it is Warhammer, indeed. We are painting up Dark Angels Battle Brother. And we're nearing some of the end steps here, which is good. We've come quite a long way in the 2 hours that we've been live. I might just do a little bit more and then I'm probably going to have to jump off, guys. About reached my limit here for hobbying because I need to wait for this to properly dry to really go in and do the final details, because I can tell areas are still quite wet, which is not allowing me to finish where I would otherwise like to paint a bit. And I can just tell it's reacting really weird. But yeah, we've come a long way. When we started the stream, there was no color on it except for just the base coat of the bone armor. So we've done quite some work together. Thanks, Fast Snail, appreciate it. Sniffing glue is a kid is universal, exactly right. See you, dude, take care. For anyone else new here, I'm going to drop you another link in. We're trying to build our Discord. If you want to share more tips and tricks around how you guys paint your minis, you want to see each other's works in progress, or you want to post your finished models, please do so. Join that link. We'd love to have you as part of the new Discord server. And just an FYI, I have no idea what I'm doing with this Discord shit, so it's probably not set up properly, but yeah, it's a little fun space nonetheless. Thank you, Lion Man. It is coming together decently well, if I do say so myself. But yes, get onto those cruel boys. Bro Julius, what primer did I use? Chaos Black, if you could believe it, even though he's bone white now. Chaos Black was the primer that I use, and it's the primer that I use for most of my models. Junkyard Terrorist, awesome painting. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. And that's it. Get back into the hobby after years of not painting. That's what I did. Got back into it a couple of years ago after a big hiatus. But yes, the price tag has definitely increased since we were painting quite some time ago. Yeah, I wish I could time it, Luke, to end on 69, but I don't know if that'll come to fruition. So before we wrap things up, let's just do a bit of a recap on where we have come from the streams. So, and where we're going to go. So if you're not aware, this guy is part of a commission that we've been painting up with the Dark Angels. And we have painted up a few guys on stream so far. Here are some of them, fully painted. We've painted up some Stern Guard veterans, like so. Those guys here. We have painted up another Bladeguard veteran on a previous stream, like this. And that's how our Bladeguard that we've been painting up will look. It will look very similar to the guy I just showed. We have some inner circle companions sitting to the side here, which we will likely paint up on the next stream. So I've done sort of the base coats for the green here with the airbrush, which will set the foundations to have a finished model like this dude here. So that's where we need to get to. And then once we finish painting all those, I think I showed these guys need to get some paint on them as well. And then we've got a few more Bladeguard veterans in the mix as well. So some more bare-headed dudes. I like the look of this guy. I think his helmet looks sick. So we'll get onto that. And I'm also very keen to paint this guy. He looks so menacing, wiping his blade. Cleaning it after he's slain the enemies of the Emperor. I think that's a very cool looking pose. So yeah, we'll get onto those in the future. I will likely not be able to stream all of them because, as I said earlier, I need to get a little bit of a move on with the commission. I want to get it finished a bit sooner rather than later. And it takes a bit of time to stream and paint. So I'll have to do some stuff offline just to keep things moving. But yes, that is it, I think, for this stream. Thank you so much, guys, for sticking around for so long. I really appreciate it. And yeah, it's been sick hanging out with you guys. And thank you for those of you that have joined the Discord. Yeah, I hope to see more of you there. I'll pop the link there one last time if you guys want to pop by and be part of it. We would love to have you. I would love to have you. So yes, get on that. Until next time, my friends. Sorry, Grellman, I've got to go. I got work in the morning. I'd love to stay, but I only have a finite amount of time to get this hobbying stuff in at the moment. But yeah, more to come. I look forward to hanging out next time. But until then, adios, guys. Take care. Peace. Bye.